Why why is the event tagged whatever is tagged? Well, it's very simple because most developers that are students, they don't have access to some of the tools that they need to help them in their tech career and their journey. So, but GitHub has a student pack to help students navigate through their developer career easily with access to various resources. But having this ignorance about this pack, you wouldn't know how to utilize it fully. And that is why this event is here to guide us and to help us scale through our developing journey easily. But before I continue, before this event to proceed, I have to read out our code of conduct, our community's code of conduct, so that we know how to behave with one another, so that we maintain a healthy environment for everybody. Mm, I'll have to share my screen so that you have to follow me. Uh, give me a minute. Please, if you can see my screen, let me know.
I can see your screen.
Oh, okay. So, can you see this community code of conduct? Hello?
Yes, I can see. I can see your
Okay,
screen. I
okay,
can see the code of conduct.
okay. So please, I would like you guys to follow me so no one is lost. Um, I'm going to be reading it out while we're looking at the screen. So, as a community, we strive to maintain healthy relationships amongst community members. And to ensure this, there are certain behavior codes which are acceptable, such as demonstrating empathy and kindness toward other people, being respectful of different opinions, viewpoints, and experiences, giving and gracefully accepting constructive feedback, focusing on what is best, not just for us as individuals, but for the overall community, accepting responsibility and apologizing to those affected by our mistakes and learning for the experience. So, however, certain behaviors are shown at, which includes that is these kind of behaviors are what we don't accept as a community. So part of these behaviors are public or private harassment, defrauding or making attempts to defraud a member, publishing others' private information such as physical or email address without their explicit permission, trolling, insulting, or derogatory comments, and personal or political attacks, the use of sexualized language or imagery, and sexual attention or advances of any kind. Other conduct which could reasonably be considered inappropriate in a professional setting. This last one is saying that any other thing you wouldn't do in a professional setting, you shouldn't apply it in this community. So whatever you feel is good for a professional setting, you should also apply it while you're present in a community. You should not just see it as, oh, I can just do anything I want, you know. But then what if these rules are violated? Should you do? So when you have an issue of violation to the rules, there is instances of abuse, harassing, or otherwise unacceptable behavior may be reported to the community leaders responsible for enforcement at obskinsley@gmail.com. So whatever complaint you have, or let's say someone went against the rule and it went unnoticed, you can just send an email to this email. highlighted here. All complaints will be reviewed and investigated promptly and fairly. All community leaders are obligated to respect the privacy and security of the reporter of any incident. So don't be scared if someone violates your privacy or whatever someone does to you. You have the right to. Um, so I've stopped sharing my screen, and that was our community code of conduct. So we know how to um, live, not live. So we know how to accept one another and live with our differences, or exist with our differences. So I welcome you guys once again to today's event. Sorry about the background noise. It's the breeze. I'm outside. There's no network inside. Please don't be distracted by the sound coming from my background. And before I move further, I'd like to invite someone who has actually benefited from this GitHub Students Pack, because some of us, we don't know what this pack is. Some people are actually using it, while some people that already have this pack, they don't know how to utilize the full potentials in this pack. So I'm going to invite someone who is like, let's say, a frequent user or somebody that has really benefited from the GitHub pack, so that he's going to share his experience the GitHub app pack, students pack, sorry. So please, John Code, can you share your experience with us?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm grateful to be invited here today. So my name is Ifeanyi Chukwujon. So though people call me John Code. So today I'll be sharing my experience. I think basically the impact I've had with using this great package. So once in my lifetime as a developer, so I needed things like this because I know most of us we have that challenges like the monetary challenges on how to get things done, how to pay for things, that kind of things. But then someone else to introduce me to this pack, um, and that is in my community over there when I was still coming up. I joined the Google Developer Student Club at Nnamdi Sorry, that was at Funai firstly. So that was when I got to know about this. That was 220. And good enough, when I got to know it, I have to like dive into it to see what I can do with it. And one of the benefits I got from it is access to some free resources, which by default I wouldn't have access without paying. So I got to know about what's it called, front end masters. So as a software developer, a web developer, basically, so I was looking for this good coaching environment where I can learn freely, where I can learn because then I hadn't no money and I don't even know nobody to source for that. So I got to know about front end masters, sorry, that I have to like use their course, use that platform. I think they gave me free 6 month access to their platform, and I know I use it. I use it very well, and I think after going through the courses, like my mind, some things that I didn't know learning from YouTube, they opened my mind. I got to know it. That's not that. There's still a lot of things that this pack provided for me. I think when I started learning, still on my front end journey, when I started learning Bootstrap, I got to know about Bootstrap Studio. Most of us we know about it. So using Bootstrap Studio, you don't have to be doing most things the way we type it on our IDE. So it's just like it's a powerful desktop app which you can use just for creating a responsive website. So using the Bootstrap framework, any framework. So it's very faster. I enjoyed it. So that was that for that area. I got to also know about when I now ventured into being a full stack. I started learning all these Node.js, PHP, and Laravel. So when I now got to learning um, database, I noticed about someone told me about MongoDB because of its scalability. So, but then how to now work with Mongo's Atlas, that is on an online environment which you can host your database. You have to pay for it. This platform was what gave me like a free, I think $200. Yeah, $200. You know what $200 is? So even till now, the $200 is still there, and I'm still using it freely. So as a developer, so I think I have 5 minutes. Please, if my time is over, please let me know, please. So as a developer, it helped me a lot. Even when Heroku, most of us also know about Heroku, when they stopped their free service, Heroku also provided a free, flexible environment for students who are still on their year of study to use. So you will enjoy basically like $13 per month for 12 months. So I was still using, even till now, I'm still using my Heroku to host some testing sites which I can show to my clients. So there are many benefits. This thing, I think, yeah, another thing, the most important one is my portfolio website. Namecheap actually gave me a .me domain, yeah, top level domain. So through this pack, I got a free .me domain for 12 months, which I have to like. After the 12 months, you have to like pay for it again for you to continue using it. So I got this free pack as a developer. So as using this, I got the the
Domain.
.me domain, sorry, using this pack, and it's awesome. So as a developer, you have a lot of things at your disposal using this pack. This is not a time to complain about I don't have money to do some certain things, to buy course, to do this thing. You have basic educational tech educational companies that have alliance with this park, this student park, and they offer their services freely. Educative.io, there are many of them. Not only that, if you want to go into data science, it also help you. But basically for me, it's helping me a lot. It's helping me a lot. So because of my time, I'll just like stop here. The next person that will come up will like introduce everything to us so that you know how it goes. So thank you so much.
Thank you, John Code, for sharing your wonderful experience with us. Most of us that are here that haven't used the GitHub Student Pack, from what he said, I'm sure you understood that, okay, there are a lot of benefits to this. But if you don't know how to go about it, don't worry. We have another speaker that is going to clarify us on how to go about it, how you can utilize it fully, how you can get these wonderful opportunities too, just by being a student. And GitHub just gives you these free resources, and then you use them freely as a developer. It helps your journey easy, just as you said. Because where would you have seen all those free tools? Some of these tools are paid for, but with GitHub, then they are basically free for us. So I'll be inviting our guest speaker, Kingsley Murray, to help us understand this pack better and how we can use it, how it can be the best for us, and any other thing you want to know, he's going to help you out. So that's him there. That is a young man.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope we had a good day today. So I don't want to spend too much time because Google Meet only allows us 1 hour, so we have to maximize it as much as we can. So I'm going to jump straight to the presentation. Okay, so I'm going to hide my camera The reason is so that there is not too much load on the network. So those who are experiencing poor network will also still have a good experience on this call. All right, so I'm currently sharing my screen. So this is me. My name is Umwe Kingsley, and I am a GitHub campus expert representing West Africa, representing GitHub in West Africa. So today, what we want to talk about, I don't want to talk too much about myself. If you want to reach out, if you want to talk about anything tech, whether within or outside the topic of discussion today, feel free to reach out to me on X, formerly known as Twitter. So I want to jump straight to what we have today to talk about. We're talking about unlocking resources for student success. So with the lightning talk earlier by John Code, you've gotten an idea that what we're here to share, what we're here to talk about is the GitHub Developers Pack. So it's basically GitHub collaborating with tech companies, tech firms, product companies out there so that they can make some of all these resources available and accessible to students. So that's basically what the GitHub Developer Pack is in a nutshell. And there's more to it actually, and we're going to find out here today. So what exactly is the expectation of this session? So by the end of this 15 to 20 minutes talk with me, you should be able to learn how to activate and get these resources for yourself. So you'll be able to achieve your own career goals. You will also have access to a global community and global opportunities available, made available to you by this developers pack. And also in the case of expiration, you also learn how to reactivate the pack. Some of us didn't know this. So this means that whether or not you know about this pack or you don't, or you're hearing about it for the first time today, or you've been using it, I'm certain that there's something new you're gonna learn. So why is this developers pack important? I think John Code did a very good uh, job trying to show the impact of this pack. So if you actually think about it, regardless of the domain in tech that you're in, if you're trying to break in as a student, there's majorly two things that have, that basically seem to be like a really big problem for us as a student because of our student budget. Those problem is that number one is having access to knowledge, having access to the information you need to learn that skill in that domain of tech that you are in. And the second thing is having access to industry-based, industry standard products and tools. So if you manage to have access to those courses, say you are able to pay for it, chances are the tutor in that course would have to walk you through using an industry standard product. And to use that product, you have to put money in it. We're not talking about 5K, 2K. We're talking about $100, $200 before you can be able to test out these tools and actually use them. And if you don't have this money to actually put in these tools, you can't access them. Thereby, you can't even practice with it. So how I wrote it on this slide is, the reason why this pack is important is because it is basically the most efficient way to support future developers. And it is by offering them hands-on experience with industry standard products and tools. So there's nothing that replaces, hands-on approach, in learning things. And so with this pack, you get access to basically every industry standard product out there that is really important to you in your domain in tech, and you have access to them and you can practice with them without having to spend a dime. Your pocket can be happy while you're trying to push your career goals. Okay, so that's the reason why this is important. So John could have given us a glimpse as to what is contained in this pack, but there's actually more to it. So what I have 5 things on my list here, 5 things, and what John Code was able to talk about was just one of them. And that's number 1 here, which is free credit, free offers to tools across different domains in tech. So he talked about access to DigitalOcean, up to about $200 free credit to explore DigitalOcean, to learn what it feels like to actually deploy your apps and have them in a production environment. It talked about front-end master. That one also is an highlight for me personally using the pack. If you're someone who's into front-end development, man, you're gonna love this. I think they charge close to $100 per month. If you want to go into using their resources, you want to pay for their resources. But if you go through GitHub, the GitHub Developers Pack, you're getting free access to their resources, every single resources that they have, every single learning material they have, all of their courses, you're having access to them for 6 months. Do the math, you see how much you save just going through this pack. Talk about Namecheap having to get a free domain. So you learn what it feels like to actually have your site running on the internet on a domain name. I personally have my own personal portfolio as well, for free, running on a .me domain, just like John Code. Um, Talk about Heroku. Personally, I've not tried that, but there's a lot and lot more. See, no matter what domain of tech you are in, I don't want to go into listing all of the products that is attached to this pack, because this meeting will not end. So, regardless of your domain, whether you are in cyber security, you are in blockchain, whether you are in front end development, app development, you find something that will be of help to you in this pack. So the second thing on my list is the GitHub Student Expert Program. So some of us know about this program, some of us don't. If you're someone who is passionate about community building, you want to influence people around you, you are looking for support, looking for sponsors to push you while you advocate for technology and open source around your environment, then this is a very good program for you. So basically what the GitHub Campus program is that it's a training. So GitHub is training you personally so that you can actually um, do the most that you can as a student developer, um, community leader. Okay, so they're training you to become a student leader. So number 3 on my list is GitHub Pro. So what this means is having access or activating this pack will also give you access to premium features from GitHub, like the code spaces, like GitHub Classroom, and so much more. I'm not going to go into details in that one. Number 4, we'll talk about access to GitHub Community Exchange. So I bet that at least 90% of us is hearing about the GitHub Community Exchange for the first time. So what this is, let me confirm that my internet is actually still running and I'm still on this call. Okay. So can I get verbal confirmation that we're still with me? If I Okay.
Yeah, we are here.
Okay. Make I no go dey talk to myself. So number 4, number 4, access to GitHub Community Exchange. So this is something new actually to the pack. It's not entirely new. I think it's about approximately a year new. Yeah, so it's still considered new. GitHub Community Exchange. What this is basically is a collection. It's like a bank of open source projects, but these are open source projects created and maintained by students from across the globe. So if you're someone who is looking out to get into open source, this is an amazing opportunity for you, because you get to find relatively small scale projects, because these are created by other students and maintained by students. You're able to find projects, relatively small scale projects created by students. So obviously it's going to be very easy for you to fit in to participate in projects like that. So if this is something you're looking out for to start participating in open source, it's never too early to start participating in open source. Neither is it too late at any point. Feel free to check out GitHub and Community Exchange. I have one of my personal projects on GitHub Community Exchange. It's called Open Pomodoro. So in a nutshell, it's a productivity app that helps you manage your to-dos using a concept called the Pomodoro technique. So that's not the purpose of this meeting, so I won't be going in details into it. If you're interested, feel free to chat me and we can talk about it. Number 5, we have access to paid open source contribution opportunities, and I think this is a highlight. So basically, as a student, you can be contributing to open source projects and you can be making some money. Talking about being paid in dollars. So this is not in the scope of this meeting today. I and my team are working towards making an event that would demystify contributing to open source, that can help you make your first contribution and ultimately get you to that point where you can start making some money while contributing open source. If that is something that sounds interesting to you, make sure to fill out our feedback form at the end of our session today, so that we know whether or not to email you when that is ready. Okay, so moving on. So now that we know what is contained in this pack, that is enough talk. Let's get into it. Let's access this thing. Show us how to do it, and that is what we're going to be talking about right now. So, but just like every good thing out there, you have to meet a certain requirement. There's a requirement that you need to meet to have access to this pack, and it's very simple requirement. There's three of them. Chances are that every single one of us in this class actually met, or rather meets this requirement, but it's also very important that you're aware of it. One, you must be at least 13 years of age. Two, you must have a personal GitHub account. Three, you must be a student, and you must have some sort of evidence that you can use to prove that you're a student. So now let's get to the actionable steps. So step one, you want to visit the GitHub Pack webpage, and it's actually a mouthful if I want to call out the URL. So what I did is I shortened it for us. So right now you can visit it at frda.me/activate, and you have access to the webpage. If this feels like too much work to type, just scan the barcode on your screen and it should take you to the webpage. Is there anybody trying to do this as we speak, so I'll know if I should give some gap in between these steps? Okay, I'll take it that you're jotting it down, and I'll just proceed. Jotting down the steps so that maybe on your own time you can carry along with it. Moving on, the step 2, on that page you see two options to go with, either to get student benefits or to get teacher benefit. What you want to do is to get the student benefit, so click go for the student. You can see highlight of what is contained on this pack. It talked about GitHub Pro, GitHub Student Developer Pack, which is the pack filled with those resources and offers, from the industry standard products and tools out there. Talk about the GitHub Aspire Campus training, like I talked about earlier. So this is step 2. Just click on that, and then it should take you to a form where you have to fill in, answer some basic questions. The first question is, what email address do you use for school, which is this over here. So automatically GitHub will fetch your account and the email you use in signing up into that account and populate it here. So my own GitHub account is linked with 3 email. The first one is my personal email. The second one is my school email. As you can see, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, it has been verified to be a school. And the third email is my work email. And then the next question is, what is the name of your school? So in my case, it was auto-filled because Unizik is a verified school under the GitHub Education. So they could infer what school I'm from based on my email, student email. And then, how do I plan to use GitHub? I recommend, to answer this question, you want to start with the phrase like, I plan to use GitHub in the following ways, and then go ahead and list what you plan to use GitHub for. Good idea would be to collaborate, to find open source projects, to learn more about Git and GitHub, and so on. So step 4, which is to upload school ID card if email wasn't provided, if your school email wasn't provided. So in this, let's go back to step 3. So step 3, even if you don't have a school email, you can decide to use your personal email, and then impute your school manually, type it out. But that will mean that at this point you have to show a proof that truly you are a student in that school. So what they would ask for is an ID, or if you have like a formal letter issued by the school that has their letterhead on it, that is also something you can use. But if you're a Unizik student, I recommend you just use their email, so you go straight up. It makes it faster, so you kind of like skip this step. There is no need for you to explain, because evidence they based on your email. So moving forward, so if you can complete all of these steps, congratulations, you have access to this pack. Okay, you have access to this pack. It's that easy. It's very, very simple. Simple steps. Take just 4 steps. So what happens if I meet the requirement, follow the instructions, and I'm still unapproved? So because of that, I added some extra resources here. And the first link here takes you to the actual documentation, the official documentation from GitHub, that would guide you on how to activate the pack, okay, and also if there's issues along the way, how you can tackle them. Then the second link here is an article written by a fellow campus expert from Lagos, Salim. If you're also interested, you can also go through the article. I'm sure you learn something new about it, something new about the pack there. And then your third option is, you can just DM me and we can talk about it and figure out what exactly is going wrong. So that's basically everything I have for us today, and that's the end of my presentation. And before I forget, for cases where you already are using the pack and it got expired, you would need to reactivate it. Let me show you how you can do that. To show you that, I want to show you basically how to do that, not by presentation, because I already have the pack as well, and I recently renewed it, so I can just walk you on how you can do that. But you see this other part of the screen where I showed you how you can actually make the request for the first time. I cannot recreate those steps because I'm already activated. I'm already approved to use the Git pack, so I won't be able to see the form the way it is there. That's why I had to use a presentation for it. So if you want to get your pack renewed, visit GitHub Education first. So this is me in GitHub Education. So this is the community exchange I spoke about. Let's go over there and do a little explore. Let me see how much time I have left. I have like 2 minutes. So let's just rush through this. So you can find different projects. Oh, you see they're even ready for Hacktoberfest. I don't know if we know about Hacktoberfest. It's basically a season of open source collaboration. So if you are someone who is interested in open source, then this is good news for you, because right after this meeting you can just go explore on GitHub Campus Exchange, and you can find a lot of projects that you can participate in. And these are projects created by students, so you can expect them to be relatively small scale projects, and first timer friendly to contribute to. So now say I want to reactivate my pack. What you need to do is click here, go over to verify your academic affiliation. You click on this. So it's simple. You make sure you select student, and you can see I have reactivated my pack 2 times. So there's no I say limit for that. You can reactivate your pack up to 4 or 5 times, 10 times even, provided you have a way to prove that you're still a student. So this is the rest of the form. I can't go through this process because hey, they're giving me one in here that I just recently got re-verified, so there'll be no need for me to go through another verification. So that's basically how you can re-verify your academic status and renew your pack. So while I'm here, let me just show you what this pack basically contains. So you can see some of the tools here. You have access to Copilot. How many of us have heard about Copilot? It's basically an AI bot that helps you code. Talk about GitHub Code Spaces. These are premium GitHub features. Talk about educative. Give you 6 months scholarship in an online school, which is educative. Talk about interview cake. Some of these tools I haven't used them. GitHub Pages. Use this to deploy your find applications. The list of products here is almost endless. You can explore at your own time. Okay, so I've showed you how you can activate this. When you activate it, you explore, find what you need and use them. Okay, So that's basically it. Thank you for having me. If you remember, if you feel stuck, please reach out to me. If you forgot about my username is here, Umure Kingsley. You can reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram or on GitHub. You can just scan this code if you too lazy to type. Thank you. That's me, and bye.
So, Kingsley, that was a very wonderful presentation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge about this GitHub Student Pack. Actually, the resources are endless, like he said. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. Kingsley, please, you can leave your contacts. Like, you can drop a message with your contact so that people that have questions or that are confused, they can easily contact you or something. So
Okay,
while he was speaking,
I'll be dropping that on the
if
comments.
you have, you were saying something.
Oh yes, you asked to drop my contact. I will be dropping that on the comment section on the call.
So while he was speaking, I said, if you have, you should keep your questions so that you're going to bombard him with questions. He's here to answer any of your questions. So if you have a question, you can just signal by raising your hand, and then I'll give you the opportunity. You can speak. Emmanuel, you have a question.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Actually, my question is like the link that you dropped to activate the stuff. I want it to be in the group because I'm not with my system currently and I can't be running this thing with the Google Meet. So I want him to draw that activation link in the group. That is all.
All right.
Sorry, which group are you referring to?
Maybe you should just drop it on the comments.
Okay, I'll drop it on the comment.
The WhatsApp group.
No, not everybody is in
Microsoft
the
student.
WhatsApp group.
Okay, so I believe there are people from other communities here as well. So I don't know if we'll be able to post in every community group chat, but we're going to put on the in-call chat, so you can just maybe copy and save it for now.
So if you have a question, you can just signal by raising your hand so that you can shoot your question. Okay, Olumide is asking, is the application always open or is there a time frame for it?
Okay, that's a really good question. Before I answer that, I want to confirm, Emmanuel, that I have sent the link to activate the pack, so you can copy and save it for now. Maybe just load it on your book on your browser and bookmark it. I'm not sure if we'll be able to have access to your community group and post it there. But to answer the question, if there is a time frame, if you are talking about activating the pack, there is no time frame. Anytime at all, you can just activate it, provided that somehow it did not grow and your age reduced to reduce or go less than 13 years of age, because the most important is that you meet the requirement. If you're younger than 13 years, you can't activate it. If you don't have an account, you can't activate it. If you're not a student as well, you can't. If you miss out on one of these requirements, you won't be allowed to activate it. So but if you're talking about the campus expert program, there is windows to participate on for that, so it's not always open. But to have access to the GitHub campus expert program, you need to have the pack. Do you understand? So but activating the pack itself, there's no downtime, it's always open.
Okay. So is that clear, Olumide? Olumide. Okay. Okay, so he said it makes sense. Maybe he got it here. So does any other person have any other question? Feel free to ask any question. Maybe you tried activating it and you're stuck or you have a problem. Joseph Sule said, can you still have access to it even when you graduate?
Um, Provided it's not expired yet. For example, if you were to activate it maybe this year and you happen to be in your final year, chances are the pack will run for over a year plus, and then once it expires, then you need to prove that you are still a student, and if you can't prove that, then you can't have access. So you have to be a student. So the answer is no. But if it's already activated, it will run basically until the expiration date. You know, it hits the expiration date, then it locks you out again, and then you have to provide the proof that you're a student. So that's how it works.
So Emmanuel is asking, what type of resources let me read it out well. He said, what type of resources are we open to? Mostly in web development.
Okay, that's another good question. We went through basically what is contained on this pack. One of those things are those free offers and bonus offers also for all these industry standard products. So, if you're someone who's into web development, a couple of things that you might need to do is while building it, you might want to have access to some tools that make building software easy for you, like the bootstrap um, stuff that Ifeanyi mentioned, John Code. You might also want to be able to deploy to a domain, host on a domain. Then you need all this domain service provider, and you have to pay for domain. But if you go through this pack, you have access to free domains with .tech, .me domains, depending on which offer exactly you are picking to use. If you go on the list, just activate the pack first, then go to explore. You see, there's something called .tech domains. So with them, you can just get a free .tech domain and have your application or your website living on the internet. There is also Namecheap. You can also use that to get a .me domain also for free for 1 year. If you're someone who's building backend infrastructure, you might want to have to use tools like Heroku, use tools like DigitalOcean, Azure, and if you go through this pack, you can get up to $200 free credit. I think on DigitalOcean, I think same for Azure. Then for Heroku, I think it's $13 per month. It's renewing every month for 6 months. Then we'll talk about Educative. Educative is like a school online, an online programming school. You can enroll for it. You have access to it free for 6 months as well. Um, what else? There's a lot of things, man. Just go and explore, and you discover um, stuff you can use. Personally, stuff I use basically I can only talk about stuff that I've been able to explore and use, and so there's basically a glimpse of some of them. Yeah.
So that's been okay. Said must be pursuing a bachelor's degree to access.
That's a very, very, very good question for real. I've not really asked myself that, but I think it doesn't really have to be bachelor's degree. If you are doing masters, yeah. If you are doing a professional, what do you call that? Anyway, post graduate degrees and stuff. I think you should be able to renew it. Yeah, yeah, you should be. You can, you know what? Let me go through the docs and confirm that. I'll get back to us here later.
So is there another question while he gets back to us? Does anybody have any other question? Okay. So we should just wait for Kingsley without any other question. Yeah, Emmanuel, ask or talk. You're raising your hand.
It was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I have the answer. So I didn't want to just assume anything. I want to make sure that I'm giving legit info. So looking at my screen right here, based on what is written here on the application guide, it says you must be currently enrolled in a degree or diploma granting course of study from a recognized educational institution. So that's the condition. I think it's clear. So it's not like you shouldn't be thinking maybe a secondary school should be able to activate this. I think it has to be a degree or a diploma granting course. Okay. Does that answer the question?
Joseph, does this answer your question?
Okay, I see he has replied on the chat. All right, you're welcome.
So I'll be rounding off this section, this question and answer session. Does anybody have any other question before we move ahead? Okay, take that as a no. I'll be sharing a link in the comments. It's a feedback form. So I'd like for us to fill it and give our honest feedback. You see the questions there, you answer them honestly, anyways. I've sent it now. So you can just follow the link. You can follow the link and then fill out the questions. It's not going to take so much of your time. Or you can copy the link before this call ends so that you can reply that later. I think that would be better for us to just copy the link. So we have a lot for us in store. Aside the question, we've answered, we've passed through the question and answer. Nobody has any other question. On our other events, we have a game session. So one good thing about this game session is that there are prizes to be won. So I wouldn't want any of us to miss out on the fabulous prizes. I'm also going to drop a link for a next call where the game section is going to be held, because this call is going to be ending at exactly 5 o'clock. Google is going to shoot us out from here. So this games section is going to continue. That is, I'm going to drop a link to the next call where the game section is going to continue, and then we can also network with one another, get to know one another better, because we are all strangers here now, or we can know one another on a more personal grounds on the next call. We just have a few minutes to spend here, so I'll be dropping the link also. You can also copy it to your clipboard. I think this is it. Yeah. Egon, what a favor you're asking. Yes, you're going to win a prize. You just have to win the game, and then the prize is yours. You don't have a problem there. You have prizes for the winners.
The link is not clickable. It's not clicking.
Which one?
The link to the meeting, to the gaming call.
Oh, okay. I'm coming. Let me check it very well. I don't know why it's not clicking.
Okay, I think it's because there's no.
The link is working for me.
Eh? It's working.
The link is working from my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I just added.
Can someone else?
I appended HTTPS and it's working now for me too.
Okay. So you resent this. Okay, that's better. Oh, I mispronounced your name. Sorry. Ego Taunwa. Ego Taunwa. Not Egonwa. Ego Taunwa. Sorry. Sorry about that. Don't take it personal. So, do we have any other questions before this call ends? No. Please, let's conclude this section and then I'll meet you guys. Ego Taunwa, what happened? Please correct me on your mic so I can pronounce your name better.
Egotanwa.
Egotanwa.
Egotanwa. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just call you Favor, I beg, so that we don't have any misunderstanding with your name.
Okay.
So I'll expect us to join the next call where we have the games section. There's a lot in store for you guys. Thank you for bringing out your time to join us on this great event. I hope you apply the knowledge because history did not come here to waste his time. Apply your knowledge. If you have any question, his contact is on the comment section. You can message him. He's going to guide you better. Anything confusing at all. If